who yells "Hey" in the back? You think it's just some dude who walked in and didn't know they were recording? Hey! you think it's part of the bit?
Cool. That would be awesome if that
just
is
some guy. Well, like all the guys. I feel like I'm a hollow man. Like, you know, my favorite thing to do is not my favorite thing to do.
I know what your favorite.
Let me reel this in. Oh, yeah. Let me reel this in a little bit. I always, whenever I listen to the song "Rainy Day Women," I like just listening to the guys in the background going, "Oh yeah, oh yeah." I mean, there's like 4 guys who've obviously been drinking all day long in the background, just like cheering on Bob. It's the weirdest vibe.
Who's in town?
Yeah, he is.
Tomorrow, is it?
The 4th and the 6th at the Orpheum. What's today? Is today the 3rd?
Today's the 3rd.
Well, that would make tomorrow the 4th. So, that'll be a Tuesday, Thursday gig at the Orpheum. I've seen Dylan a couple times. And, I mean, I saw him with Petty and the Dead at the Dome. Now, the Dome was an awful venue, but I was on the floor. So, if you're ever on the floor at the Dome, you were fine. You weren't getting the echo or the reverb. So, that was a pretty cool way to see Dylan. I've seen him at Canterbury also. But, I mean, he can be kind of hit or miss live. I mean, there are times... I love the vocal stylings of Bob Dylan. I like unique vocalists. I'm a Neil Young guy and a Bob Dylan guy. But, I mean, there are times where he's going to kind of mail it in. I mean, he's 92 years old, and he's kind of gravelly to begin with. So, I mean, there are nights where he gets up there and just kind of goes, you know, kind of. Just kind of, you know what I'm saying? He just kind of
Don't you just go and just say I've been there?
Kind of rambles through it. I mean, I'm a Bob Dylan
you would
fan.
now. I saw him in 92 when I went because I figured he might be done. That was 20-some years ago.
Yeah, 25 years ago.
But his voice has
22.
changed quite a bit
Yeah.
in the last few years. But I'm not going this time. I've seen him enough.
Yeah, I've only seen him once, but God, that was 85. Jesus Christ. I'll tell you what, though.
1985?
That's when Petty and Dylan and the Dead came through. And I've never been a Grateful Dead fan per se, but I will always have a certain debt of gratitude towards them for changing the culture of my high school. Because, I mean, I'm the Breakfast Club crowd. I mean, that movie's like my senior year. So, I mean, we had all that, like my sophomore year in high school. By the way, let's try to set the stage here. This is the Jeff Dubay Show. It's a Monday. The guest is Jason Lindsay. Go ahead and plug the website real quick. Then we'll get into it more in depth later. But just give the website now, the name of it.
The personalityandfitness.com.
Personalityandfitness.com.
Yes.
But you're not here. I mean, you're not necessarily here for that. You're here because you're a buddy of mine. You want to be on the show. But we will get into that.
I come here for the beer.
But I began anecdotal, and I want to continue that way, at least for the moment. But when I got my sophomore year in high school. It's like walking into a Thompson Twins video or a flock of seagulls. I mean, everybody had the goofy, stupid MTV hair, and it was just an obnoxious scene. And then the summer between junior and senior year...
Thompson Twins.
Well, it was seriously. Everybody had like the big shelf head, and they just looked like idiots. It was like
were you one of them?
No, hell no. I am who I am. I am who I was. Is that what Tom Kelly used to say? I am who I used to be, or something like that. But anyway, I digress. Summer between junior and senior year... the Grateful Dead, come rolling into town, and sure enough, the next fall, everyone's wearing flannels and jeans. I mean, it's just what a bunch of sheep. I mean, seriously, but I mean, they changed the culture of the high school overnight. And I'm not kidding about that. I mean, things changed.
And that was I
finally got to start picking on the Milli Vanilli kids of the world.
I'd much rather see tie-dye and shroom necklaces and whatnot.
I tell you what, though,
than parachute pants.
Talk about odd cultures. I mean. Me being a high school junior, and I grew up on the mean streets of Hopkins, so I wasn't completely sheltered. But to be at the Dome and see people who are traveling town to town, making a living selling grilled cheese sandwiches was so fucking weird. And that's like, I was 17 years old, and I'm like thinking, wow, this guy. I wasn't thinking it was good. I was thinking, boy, what the hell's wrong with this guy? He's going from town to town, selling grilled cheese sandwiches and smoking dope, watching the Grateful Dead. It's like, come on, man. You got
grilled cheese sandwiches.
And he thought he was living the life, I guarantee it.
They're sitting on the sidewalk, like with hot plates, selling grilled cheese sandwiches. For like
nothing special about them, not jalapeno. I mean,
this is the culture of the Deadheads. Yeah. I mean, they're like merchants. It's like a Gypsies. Modern day Renaissance. They're just like traveling from town to town, playing flutes. It's just, it's weird. It's weird shit. Mandolins.
Living the dream, probably as far as they think.
That's what I'm saying. I think they would love that.
Well, they've got a different definition of consciousness than
a head full of acid. Yeah.
I mean, it's a whole different reality. It's their own little world in which they live. But this is a long time ago, of course. But anyway, the Jeff Dubay Show, we're at Devil's Advocate, as we have been from the beginning. 40 craft beers on tap. And I've got two beer-drinking aficionados with me, Jason McGovern and it's the Jason Show, Jason Lindsay. I have a beer from time to time, and I'm a bit of a beer snob when I have one. But if you are somebody who likes the finer beers in life. You like the microbrews. I mean, this place is basically combed the country and found some of the best that there are. They put 40 of them on tap here. Jason loves them. I mean, neither Jason loves them.
I'm loving the one I'm drinking. What did you get? You got a red? You don't remember what you got, do you?
Red Rambler.
Red Rambler, which you had to ask the waiter if it was a red. That's like that had to be the dumbest question.
I'm going to give him a little credit.
Give me some
No.
The names don't necessarily tell you much about the beers.
Oh, come on. Red Rambler. Asking if a Red Rambler is a red beer is the dumbest question asked in the restaurants. It's a guy, since the waitress at Crave asked me when I ordered a cheeseburger, would you like couscous or fries with that? To which I said, go fuck yourself. Couscous. Jesus.
Have you ever had couscous? It's horrible.
Who the hell would even ask that
I don't even know
question?
what it is.
Yeah.
What is couscous?
I
honestly don't know what it is.
Some Middle Eastern grain or something.
Yeah, it's cold. It is a healthier option.
Well, of course
which,
it is.
Of course,
So smoking a cigarette would have been a healthier option. I mean, but they're French fries. It goes with the hamburger. You don't ask me if I want couscous. I haven't been to Crave since. Although I will be there this Thursday, oddly enough.
That's a relatively intolerant stance on Crave.
What, couscous? Fries? I mean, you can...
She didn't ask you if
No, I ordered a burger, and she said, would you like fries or couscous with that? And I mean, I looked at her. I didn't even answer. I just looked at her.
You should have said, "I'm not coming here ever again."
No, I was not. I wasn't rude to her. I just looked at her like, real. I said, do people ever say couscous? She says, well, sometimes girls do.
Oh God! So I feel like a girl because I had couscous because I didn't want fries, and they don't.
You did it? You took the.
They don't have a lot of.
That's like taking them. That's like taking toast instead of pancakes at Perkins.
Okay, listen.
Come on, man. Pancakes are real food. Toast is just.
No, we don't need to debate nutritional value. Although my website is personalityfitness.com. French fries are not the best thing for you. Couscous is a better option.
Thank you.
Well, the burger's so good for you.
I'm just glad we brought a fitness expert in. I mean, thank you for the tip on fries.
Come on. Hey, listen, what are you drinking right now?
If a guy orders a burger...
Diet Coke. And you go to the drive-thru.
It's very healthy.
Yeah.
I'm not a healthy guy. I mean, I don't. Let me rephrase that. I don't live a healthy lifestyle. It's no longer a drug-riddled lifestyle. Thank goodness. But I've got vices. I mean, I don't smoke, and I rarely drink. But I mean, when I come in here, I'd like to have a Diet Coke
or 6.
Well, yeah, and you know what? I've tried to be drinking more water during the show because I've noticed I listen to the shows because I take a lot of pride in what I do. But I get a little raspy during the show. I think I dehydrate myself drinking Diet Coke.
Soda is the worst thing to drink while doing radio.
That should be the only reason to drink water, but again...
hey, whatever works.
No, I'm a big water drinker, typically. I like to drink a lot of water. But we're going to get into the Vikings game a little bit yesterday. We're going to talk a little bit about Paul Molitor. We're going to talk a little bit about the Redskins' nickname. There's an article in the Pioneer Press. I think it actually appeared over the weekend. So it's a few days old. But, I mean, again, it's a podcast. By the time you listen to it, it could be a fucking year old. I don't care. But it's about... Here's what they asked about the Redskins' nickname. They really wanted to get out there and get a good cross-section. So they asked Billy Kilmer, Jay Schrader, Joe Theismann, and there was another... Brad Johnson. They asked 4 Redskin quarterbacks what they thought of their game. Shockingly, they all took the company line.
No.
Yeah, and it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in print. I mean, the Pioneer Press ran it, I think, just to, I'm not ripping the Pioneer Press here. I mean, they're not the ones who did it. They picked it up from somewhere, and, they ran it because it was timely, and, Washington was coming to town. And this was going to be the perfect storm because the Vikings play on a college campus, a college that happens to have a policy against scheduling any team with a Native American mascot, which is why the Gophers had this little gap of not playing North Dakota, because when they were making the schedule out for last year and this year, they were the North Dakota Fighting Sioux, and they were no longer going to be a conference team, so, we told them to go after themselves. So so the policy gets kind of... As a matter of fact, I think, wasn't there some stumbling points about the Vikings deal moving in here, because they were going to have to host the Redskins? It's against U of M policy, but whatever. But... there was a massive, the largest protest against the Redskins nickname that has ever taken place took place here over the weekend. Involving
how many people does that include? Did they say? Did you see any numbers?
They said it was anywhere from 3,500 to 5,000. And they came from as many as 10 states and included a lot of Native Americans. And one of the funny things in the article that I was talking about with the Redskins quarterbacks, I forget which of the privileged, charity golf tournament playing quarterbacks that it was, but he said, I've been talking to all kinds of Native Americans, and they think it's great. Well, yeah, because you're playing in charity golf tournaments at casinos with bigwig Republican Native Americans who are getting big checks. You're not on the reservation.
Yeah.
It's not a cross section. That's just ridiculous. But again, we will get to that.
So they 4 quarterbacks. Do you find it peculiar they didn't interview Doug Williams, a minority?
Yeah, that is funny. That is funny, isn't it? Yeah, that didn't occur.
They checked him off the list. We're not going to call him.
Now he's only a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
What the? Who needs him? But Jason is a buddy of mine. I stayed at his place last week. He lives uptown, and I just wanted to be cool for a week, so I went and hung out. I can't do the uptown thing. I mean, I sat out front a Bryant Lake Bowl like one night for an hour or two, and I hated myself when it was over. I went home and took a shower. I'm like, I'm not a hipster.
Shut the fuck up.
I don't want to be one of these people who takes themselves so seriously.
We sat there for an
hour. The City Pages Uptown crowd makes me sick.
Oh.
You're also higher consciousness. I mean, don't get me wrong. Well, seriously, it's just
such a hater.
All the hipsters and
God, you're a hater.
I hate people who take themselves so seriously.
I'm not going to say there's not an over. You pointed out the beard factor.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Don't wait for Sean to get around the corner. But if I see one more 25-year-old with a 3-foot lumberjack beard, I say, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're 25, you're not 52. Shave that thing off.
Chicks dig it, man.
And
notice mine's gone, but I still know they do.
Sean's is like a House of Pain kind of a look. His is like a skateboarder kind of look. Yeah. His isn't a.
But he's got a girlfriend.
He doesn't look like he's going to be on the side of a paper towel package. That's what these idiots uptown look like. Yes.
Yeah.
It's just like a whole other faction of hipsters. The bearded, the lumberjack hipster. It's a new faction of hipster. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. I mean, seriously, after our time out front of the Bryant Lake Bowl, well, for one thing, like the Bryant Lake Bowl outside, it's got those tables that are kind of built into the benches and they don't move.
Right.
And you kind of have to position yourself in between them. And I had the displeasure of sitting next to basically an intoxicated Roseanne Barr lookalike.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she weighed 300 pounds. She basically sat on me and pushed me into the... I think I bruised a couple of ribs against the table that she forced me into with her gigantic body. And then she just sat there and spewed alcohol breath over me all night. She was just loud.
It bothered you after the shallow hell moment.
And she had some crazy... yeah, seriously, very funny. And she had some crazy, psychotic-looking, murderous clown doll that she was freaking everybody out.
Oh, the doll, yeah.
It was just but anyway, I mean, at the end of that night, I'm like, I went home and flogged myself. I was like the guy in fucking Da Vinci Code, just flogging my back. How dare you go to the...
Is that why I had a bunch of strange hairs on my bathroom floor?
Very funny, very funny. Jeez. How dare you go to the Bryant Lake Bowl? How dare you go to the Uptown Crowd? You're not a hipster. And I mean, I almost bled out. It was horrible. But anyway, I've learned
you liked it.
But in the course of this week, during the course of this week, you gave me a personality assessment.
Yes.
I was just glad to find out that it was able to detect one. But it's what you do. So I want you to just to kind of give a nutshell on this for people.
It was after you took a Facebook challenge or a personality profile that turns out you were a sociopath.
No, I'm not. No. It was
borderline.
No. Let's get this right. It was a psychopath test, not a sociopath test.
Oh, big difference.
And it said that I could become a psychopath. That I'm a psychopath in the making, but I've yet to kill. And my bloodlust has not yet been, triggered. But if I don't surround myself with the right people, I could go right over the edge. So don't fuck.
So you could go postal.
Don't fuck with me.
I signed up for the right show.
Tells me this after he moves in for a few days, and I said, "Well, then you're gonna have to take my personality."
How are you not a potential psychopath? By the way, you have no feeling for anybody. You're cold and calculating. You're like an achiever and a climber, a social climber. That's what your personality profile was, right?
But. No,
you're insensitive. You don't care about people. You're the psychopath.
All right, but I don't have a beard. But anyway,
That's right. You're very well groomed.
No, but here's the deal.
You have very thick hair for a 41-year-old, don't you think?
It's good hair.
Hair club for men. The 4-quadrant theory of personality. Most people listening, whether listening today or in 1 year, are probably familiar with DISC or MBTI or something like that.
Okay.
And so there's many other assessments out there. The one that I own is called People Plus, and I bought it to use in
my... Or PP. You like to
we could call it PP Plus. I bought it to use in my consulting business. I do business consulting, but I mainly do consulting in the fitness industry. So I said, why don't I take it and just and give the assessment to people who are interested in learning how it can help them with their health and fitness goals. Different personalities need different approaches to exercise.
And different PPs.
Some people need structure. Some people need more variety. Some people need to work out in a group. Some people need to work out alone. So that's the stuff you learn when you go to personalityandfitness.com and take the assessment, which you took.
I did.
Now,
but my fitness needs have been met, though. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, sure.
Absolutely. Look at you.
Well, I certainly get cardio at least once a day. I'll tell you that.
The fitness
at least once.
Wrist workout.
The profile's not going to work out for you. But the cool thing is, not only do you get health and fitness tips, but you also get an ebook about personality in general and how it affects your overall life.
Okay.
And I want to can I throw a little promo code?
Please do.
If you go to personalityfitness.com You can take the full assessment, which normally costs a big whopping $5.95. Most of these assessments online cost $20 to $30.
I got to do it for free.
I'm already and so is everybody listening. If you go to take the full assessment and your username is promo1, the number 1, so promo and then the number 1, and the password is Dubay, lowercase Dubay.
Lowercase, Jesus Christ, disrespect.
No, check it out. You want to hear the story? So I asked Webmaster. I said I typed it to him. And then he came back and said, all set. And I thought about it. I said, well, maybe we should just do lowercase Dubay because it would be easier.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I think it's easier.
Lowercase D.
What people want to do is they always nice. I forgot about that. They always want to capitalize the B, but I'm not that pretentious. Let's just keep it all lowercase and keep it easy. But we're not going to talk about it too long. But I mean, when you take this, I mean, if you're just a regular person, what's it going to tell you? I mean, because you kind of, when I took it, you totally, without looking at it, you kind of told me what my results were going to be because
I made a prediction.
You pretty much nailed it.
Yeah, I mean,
you're wearing a white belt, Herb Tarlick. What the hell?
Yeah, I know.
I just saw that now.
I have gray shoes and I didn't have a gray belt.
Hipster.
And the rule is you can wear a white belt with any color shoes. But
if you're Herb Tarlick. But anyway,
I don't even know who that is.
WKRP in Cincinnati? No.
Wow. I watched the show when I was 7, but I don't remember.
Jesus, so nobody got my joke.
What are you, 55?
Nobody. Come on, you're in radio, McGovern. You got to watch WKRP in Cincinnati. Really? You're
19 Nam.
You're 41. You're not. Come on.
Yeah. Right, did it have Lonnie Anderson, hometown hero?
Lonnie Anderson. Yeah. Yes, and then Dr.
But it was
Johnny
early
Fever.
80s, dude. So I was born in '73, so I was like 9.
Plus,
10.
I don't think TV had come to Blooming Prairie yet.
No.
Home of the Awesome Blossoms.
No, we actually.
Jesus. The Awesome Blossoms.
And
their arch rival, the Bloomin' Onion. When they meet.
What? Fuck off on this. The Blooming Prairie Awesome Blossoms won the section championship.
Did they win?
On Saturday against the number 1 seed. They were the number 2 seed, even though Blooming Prairie had a
bad nickname.
Undefeated. Well, undefeated record.
That's unbelievable.
The other team was 7-1, but they had only lost by 1 point to a 2A. This is 1A. So
they couldn't stop laughing at your name. I mean, seriously, the opponent probably laughed.
How do you think they feel now?
Well, they probably feel good about getting a good laugh out of it.
10 conference champions in a row.
Yeah.
State 3 times in the last 5 years.
When do they have time for the therapy to get over the nickname?
Okay, fine. Quick story. I was student body president senior year, and I actually, this is true, I called a meeting.
What was your class size? 17?
63.
Was that like Little House on the Prairie?
63.
Like one little building with a bell?
Yeah, it wasn't that.
I'm just kidding.
But I didn't even have to give a speech. You just signed up, and then people voted for you. It was a popularity contest. I called a meeting.
You're popular, in other words.
Oh. Well, back then I was. I called a meeting to change the name. I'm like, you know what? It's high time we get rid of this embarrassment flower.
Did you really?
Yeah.
No, the mascot's ridiculous.
The school board.
It's like a roided out flower.
Yeah. Yeah. Which by the way,
a roid-raging flower.
Yeah.
What the hell?
That's what makes it awesome.
Excuse me. An art student drew that in the 80s. So for from the 10s, 20s, 30s, okay. It was just literally they had a flower probably, like an actual flower.
Oh my God.
But the school board looked at my proposal for 10 seconds and said, that's not happening. I tried.
Did you have another name? Did you propose something?
Oh, I said, hey, Panthers, Tigers, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, anything.
Pick, throw awesome a dart at an animal on the board, and we'll go with it.
Seriously, Awesome Blossoms.
But now all these years later,
it is.
22 years since I graduated,
now you love it?
Of course I do. We make the news, national news once in a while.
For being idiots. I mean, well, you know what, though? I will say this. I when it comes to universities, here's where I'm a little bit of a hypocrite. I like the quirky nickname there's so many Wildcats and Tigers and Bears out there that I get a little bored with. Oh, no, I get a lot bored with that. That I appreciate, a nickname like, the Ramblin' Wreck or something. Although that's not their real nickname. They're the Yellow Jackets. But you get my
drift. In 1989,
the Tar
ESPN
Heels
came to our high school.
The Tar Heels, the Volunteers, the Crimson Tide. I mean, those are not cookie-cutter names.
No.
And they typically have something to do, with the regionality of where the school's from.
But I know where you're going. But I know where you're going with this. The Blossoms, come on. I mean, I get it.
Awesome Blossoms. It's just a little fruity. That's okay. Not there's anything wrong with that. It's a little effeminate. I mean,
having a football.
You're named after an appetizer. I mean, you literally are named after an appetizer.
Well,
have you ever been? Who had the Awesome Blossom? Is it Outback Steakhouse, or that's the Bloomin' Onion?
It's
Chili's. What's one of those?
Chili's has the Awesome Blossom.
Awesome Blossom. You're named after an appetizer. Did you?
The name came in 19.
Did you beat the chicken balls this year?
I know so much about this. Obviously, wanting to change the name, they don't even know where it came from.
Some drunk
idiot. They do not have an exact source of how you came up with the nickname.
Some drunk farmer at a town hall meeting. Hey, I got an idea.
Probably.
Seriously.
I'm guessing it was a farmer's wife, but that could...
a roided out... You should see this thing. It's this roided out flower. It looked like it was drawn by a mentally challenged alcoholic. I mean, it's just a mess. It's all sketchy and messed up. Wow. I mean, I'm a mentally challenged drug addict, so I'm not making fun of people.
In Blooming Prairie, there's a chance.
I mean, okay, or like maybe they made somebody draw it left-handed as a prank or something. It's like all sketchy and weird.
It was drawn by an art student. This guy, I don't think this
not
guy...
Not a good one.
I don't think he went on to Juilliard.
No, he was never heard from again. Yeah. I mean, that was his moment right there. That was about as far as he went. Vikings did beat... Oh, Jesus, that was almost a spill. Vikings did beat the Redskins yesterday in a pretty good football game. And just a couple of... I don't want to break it down. I mean, this is an hour-long show where we like to... the vibe of the show isn't hardcore sports. We talk about sports, but we use it as kind of a jumping-off point to sit and shoot the shit. I mean, it's guys sitting around in a bar. In case you can't hear right now. Yeah, look at that thing.
Jesus
look at that thing.
Christ.
It's a roided up.
Did you work to Google on the internet machine and it came right up? Didn't it?
Yeah. That is
internet machine.
the worst logo I've ever seen.
Awesome Blossoms. You know what? Can you put
mascot,
that? Can you put that on the show page for today's show?
I'll put it on the Twitter and the Facebook. Yes.
I mean, it's really embarrassing. But
wow.
The theme of the show isn't we're not breaking down sports. We're using sports as just a jumping off point to sit and shoot the shit during a happy hour at a bar. Right now, listen, you can almost hear the crickets. It's just the dead city. It is a dead city right now. If there was ever going to be a zombie apocalypse, it would happen tonight. I mean,
it has happened.
I mean, there's nobody in town. I mean, there's nobody anywhere. And it's just been this.
There's no traffic coming down here. It was weird.
I mean,
What's
it is weird. We're the last people on Earth. I will not fornicate with either of you.
Thanks for that disclaimer. I'm so disappointed.
I appreciate it.
But anyway. But we will talk. We talk a little bit of sports. Just a couple of brief things.
Sarcasm.
Couple of brief things about the game. I don't understand how people. I don't. Are you getting much of a feel for what the general population thinks of Teddy Bridgewater? Because I get the impression that people are a little too critical of this guy. I mean, if he would ever have time to throw the football, I do say that I see the concerns with the deep ball. Not a lot of touch on the deep ball. But, the Vikings' offensive line is so dog shit. I mean, it's banged up, and Khalil is an underachiever. And, I mean, there are issues up front. I mean, Jimmy Johnson took the line to task on the broadcast yesterday at halftime. Talked about how good we are at skill positions and just what a dog shit offensive line it is, which is a little troubling because you got a third overall pick playing left tackle, fourth overall pick, whatever the hell he is.
I think he's third.
But, I mean, on a play-by-play basis, Teddy Bridgewater is flushed out of the pocket or having to throw with people in his face. I mean, he never gets to go back and just sit and just take it in.
I did feel a bit vindicated, though, by, I think was it Rodney Barber with Chris Myers on the game yesterday?
I think Tiki did the second and third quarters. They rotated. No, I'm just kidding. It was Rondé.
Nobody can tell the difference.
Well, I mean, they are twins. If anybody out there is claiming racism.
No, that's not a racist.
They are twins. So anyway.
Rodney Barber said that, and I think he said he was talking to Greg Jennings this week, and Jennings was talking about how Bridgewater waits for the receiver to get open before he throws the ball. And the greatest quarterbacks in this league throw the ball right before they get open, or they throw it to them when they're covered in a spot where only they can get it. Right. And that's the part that I said I don't think Bridgewater has learned yet.
Yeah, you nailed that.
Maybe he's coming around on it.
Well, here's the thing that I was reading today that I thought was interesting. Is that when we all saw the Rams game, did we all not? I mean, when you look at the last month of the season last year, and then you watch the Rams game to start this year, did you not think that Cordero Patterson was about to become the shit?
Right.
Yep. Where is he?
Well, and then Zimmer talked about it.
Plus all the hype at training camp leading.
Yeah, and he didn't take anybody to task in the press conference today, but he made it clear that there's a lack of precision in certain elements of the passing game, and that was the thing with Patterson. He played 1 year of college football. He doesn't know routes. He's raw. And when we were getting ready for the draft and all the speculation last year at 1,500 with Judd, I'm just like, I've never understood how is it hard to learn routes. I mean, you're a receiver. I mean, my take was, take him out on the field and get some of those fucking Arthur Murray footsteps that they use at dance schools. And just, you go this way, then you go that way. It's not that hard. I mean, he's running wrong routes on certain plays. He's running routes that are at the wrong depth, too deep, too shallow. He's in the wrong place at the wrong time. I love the guy, and I love his athletic ability and his potential. How hard is it to learn a goddamn route? You were a receiver at Blooming Prairie,
who probably ran really shitty routes.
But you guys are a passing juggernaut. You're the Air Coryell of southern Minnesota.
Yes.
I've heard Adam Carolla talk about acting in this same way, where he'd be like, there's people that you can tell them, look, stand in this spot, face this way, keep your fucking hand down, like just face the,
It's not rocket science.
But people can't do it. There are certain people, you give them specific instructions on, here, go there, stand this way, look that way, and they can't do it. Cordero Patterson might just not have it.
It's not an IQ thing. It's just
it's a built-in part of your brain.
It's so weird. How is it hard to just run a pass route? I mean, it's just go there, then go there. Okay.
But he's not doing anything on the punt returns either.
When I was 8 years old, if a guy said, go to the Volkswagen, go left, hook left over to the tree, I could do it. Yeah. I got it. I mean, it's how hard could it be? I mean, I know there's a lot of language involved. But come on. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm not trying to take the guy deep. I've never understood when somebody says, "Oh, this guy runs really good routes." Okay, so you mean he knows his right from his left? Well, that's fucking great. Congratulations.
How did he do yesterday?
Nothing. He was thrown through 7 times. He caught 1 pass. As a matter of fact, there's some really telling stats in the article. And every time I have to refer to my phone, the show goes completely awry because it takes me forever to find what it was that I saw earlier in the day that I wanted to get to. So, and the fact, well, you know what? I'm on Wi-Fi here, so it won't take too long. But the targets, since Bridgewater has taken over, they look at how many times a guy's been targeted and how many completions he's had per targets, and they can get like a completion percentage for each receiver. And his is like leaps and bounds below. Can you be leaps and bounds below? I mean, he's way below everybody else on the team. I mean, he's like at 36% with Bridgewater. Everybody else is around 60 to 70%. I mean, it's just a number you can't ignore. I mean, I don't think there's anybody who expected him to be almost a 2013 like non-factor this deep into the season. I mean, it almost makes me think that no, I'm not going to I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to give Frazier or Musgrave a pass, but I can start to feel their pain a little bit because remember by like Thanksgiving we're all like, well, where the fuck's this guy been? What are we idiots doing? Well, now we're starting to kind of get it a little bit. Yeah. I mean,
and they were always saying he's not ready, he's not coached up yet, right? I mean, that was their excuse.
But then he looked like it. You know, and it's like, I mean, I was a smart ass on the radio. I'm like, well, how coached up do you have to be to catch a football? And it's like, just find creative ways. And then all of a sudden, a little swing pass here, and something that any idiot could do. A little swing pass here, or a toss sweep, or a reverse here. I mean, just simple little ways. And I tell you what, I was starting to think during that Tampa game that, well, this guy looks like he's getting it as a receiver. I mean, he was making some catches. I mean, like going up and getting it at size point, and getting feet down in bounds. I mean, it's just some stuff that's fairly advanced, but. Okay,
so then don't have him trying to run double routes and double moves and just run him on slants and run him on, like you're saying, out of the backfield kind of stuff. Basically make him a runner if he can't run a route. Right. Or, hey, Greg Jennings, why don't you step up as leader and show this kid what the hell he's doing?
I'm a little surprised, too, that he hasn't been more effective as a kick returner.
No, and that's what last year, I mean, you'd think he could run almost anyone back, and this year it never even looks like but maybe that's the special teams in general, too. I don't ever feel like you see a hole this year and go, there, he could be loose or take off, and he doesn't, and there's nowhere to go lately, too, so I don't know if there's 11 guys on the field, they all matter, especially in those special teams.
I found the Pioneer Press article, so I'll go into this now since I found it. It is funny. Let me just give you the headline, and you'll know where this is going. Redskins name change, quote, festered by liberals, former QB Billy Kilmer says. I get a couple of highlights here. Billy Kilmer says that he's never heard of anyone he goes to like Redskins functions, charity functions and stuff, and he's never heard of anyone who wants to change the name. But you're at Redskins functions, you fucking idiot. I mean, you can't, the sampling they take here, I mean, these quarterbacks are like, they're playing in charity golf tournaments. They're in a group with, tribes members who are running casinos and living huge lifestyles and they say, oh, sure, go ahead and use it. But I mean, go to like some real reservations and see like what actual.
Was it Red Lake? Go head up to that reservation
seriously.
and see what life's like.
But here's Kilmer's take. I think they should keep it, referring to the nickname. It's been there for so long. Everybody's got to be so politically correct today. I think it's all politically connected, and I think it's festered by liberals against Dan Snyder, who's a conservative. I'm a conservative, and you're embarrassing me by saying this stuff.
I don't understand how it's liberal conservative.
No,
I don't.
I'm one of the least politically correct people you will ever meet, as you could both attest to. I could not care. Typically, I cannot care about offending somebody if it's a matter of thin-skinnedness. But if it's a matter of colored skinnedness, I don't care about offending somebody. I mean, this is ridiculous. It blows my mind. I hate that I have to take a politically correct stance here because it goes against me.
Yeah, it feels wrong, doesn't it?
But it blows my mind that there are people who still want to defend this thing. It's indefensible. The Redskins' nickname is indefensible.
Well, unless you are Native American and you're from the Washington area and you like it. You're the only one who I care about your opinion. Otherwise, I don't even care about your opinion.
Yeah, here's the Theismann quote.
But wouldn't you like to ask those people? I mean,
the Native Americans?
Yeah, in Washington, D.C., how do you feel about the people in Red Lake or wherever else? And they're going to go, well, I mean, what are they going to say?
That they wouldn't care either, you mean? Or?
Yeah.
Here's Joe Theismann, quote, More and more of the Native Americans I talk to still think the Redskins ought to keep the name. But again, you're playing in charity golf tournaments with people who are running casinos. Right. I mean, seriously, that is his sampling of Native American. He's not going to the Red Lake Reservation. Right. I mean, seriously, if you were to take a sampling of Native Americans that Joe Theismann has talked to, assuming he actually has, he's not just saying this, who is he talking to? He's talking to some people cashing some big checks. Conservatives, people who maybe Daniel Snyder has some influence over, or vice versa. I mean, I don't know. It's just embarrassing. Here's Jay Schrader, just another genius. I think it's been blown way out of proportion. I think that the Washington Redskins have represented the Redskins name very well through the years and bringing glory to it. If you look around the country, if you want to change the Redskins, you've got to change a lot of names. Well, sure, you do. I'm wondering why everybody is going after the Redskins and that else. Well, because it specifically mentions a color of skin.
Right.
I mean, it's a little different, Jay. I mean, but at the root of every single argument to keep the nickname is nothing more than just a simple resistance to change. I mean,
it's been there for so long.
That's the argument.
That's not a
How
reason.
come after all these years? I mean, you know what? I mean, in the 60s, certain people couldn't drink from certain water fountains. Right. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but don't you think that...
I mean, sometimes change hurts a little bit. I'll tell you this. If they change it, and I'll get to you in just 1 second, but if they change it, I will miss the name. I mean, I've been calling them the Washington Redskins since I was a kid. I'm an NFL fan, and whatever they call them is going to seem strange and uncomfortable. But it's still the right thing to do. Change can be hard. It doesn't mean it's not the right thing to do. It's just the right thing to do.
Yeah.
It's so simple. I mean, I'm not going to like it, but I'm going to support it because it's going to be hard for me not to say Washington Redskins. I'm going to miss it. But it's
not
wrong.
a legal battle, is it? I mean, it doesn't. He doesn't have to change it, right?
He lost his copyright or his trademark on it. The trademark office they stopped supporting it because it was a racist remark or a racist term. But
what does that mean, though? Then he doesn't get his profits off his jersey sales? I mean, he still gets all the money.
I think any idiot in the world can print up Redskins shit and sell it.
Oh,
okay.
Although unless it's under the marketing.
Here's the thing.
NFL, I don't know.
If they named
I could be wrong.
If he changed the name to whatever. Wouldn't that make him more money?
Yeah, just new jerseys, all that. Yeah.
So that tells me that what he's being is he's being
he's the most arrogant.
His personality.
Yes.
He's. I mean,
what color is he?
Well,
I know. Again, we don't mean racially.
I don't want to bias it.
What color is
well,
his?
I don't want to say it.
No. I've got to finish the statement, or people are going to think I'm a racist. Because I just said, what color is he? Your personality profile is based on 4 different colors. I'm an orange.
4 different quadrants in there. We
label
colors.
I'm not asking what color a person's skin is. I'm asking what color he falls in the personality profile. Yeah. And if you would not let me finish that, I would have pounded you.
I would have made sense of it. Give me some credit.
I was out there on a limb. What color is he?
Well, yeah, you've seen him on TV. So the. I have a prediction, but I don't want. I mean, because I don't want it to be a bad color, because there's no bad colors in the personality assessment. But you combine his color combination, my prediction, with having a lot of money and probably coming from a privileged background. I don't know his story, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know how he made his money.
The counter opinion here, the counterpoint.
So he basically, let me finish. Basically, what he's saying is, "Fuck you. I can do what I want with my fucking team, and go F yourself."
Yeah.
And I don't blame him for having that point of view, but in other words, he's never in his life had to surmount the pressure.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he's always been
What is he defending? That's what I don't get. What are you so worked up about a stupid...
I agree 100%, but he doesn't have to defend
it. But it's his.
He's like, I can do what I want. Yeah. Get off my back.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe that's where it kind of comes the right-left thing, where because that's a kind of conservative principle, like private business, private entity,
don't tell me what to
get to do what I want. Maybe that's where it becomes political, but...
A very salient counterpoint offered by former Viking Joey Browner, who is 3/4 indigenous and a board member of the Minneapolis-based American Indian movement and involved with Sunday's rally. Quote, the word Redskins is degrading because it historically was for a bounty on Native Americans. It was like hunting season for women, children, and men, then to be paid to bring in a piece of their body. And then he says, by comparison, Seminoles is the nickname of a tribe. It's not a degrading remark. But the nickname Redskins is.
I think that's... No, listen, I haven't read a lot about this, but, I mean, it goes back... They can trace it back to a racist book. I mean, I don't know how you can argue that the term is... It's not bad. It's racist.
Of course. I mean, it absolutely is. I don't know.
Even if it wasn't intended to be racist. It is now.
Yeah.
So change the fucking name and move on.
Well, and the chances are it was intended to be racist back then.
Well, possibly.
Even if people don't look at it that way now.
Right.
Oh, and you know what an idiot I am.
Well, what I meant by this, it wasn't intended to be a racist nickname for the football team. I mean, it's... But anyway, I don't know. What the guy needs to do is just change the name and move on, or sell the team. I don't know his story. Is he one of these guys going to own a team till he's 100?
Here's how stupid I am. I was actually going to. I wrote something. Could you guys find my get a Facebook? Last week I wrote something about Native American nicknames on Facebook, and my phone is having a storage crisis. I hate it when this happens. It's like downloading shit that I've did like updates and stuff that I've not approved, and all of a sudden I run out of storage space, and I've got to start deleting apps, or I don't get text messages. So, like an idiot, Facebook was one of the bigger ones. I deleted it, just figuring, okay, I'll download it again later. But in the meantime, I can receive text messages, and now I can't get my bid off Facebook that I was going to read on the air. So that's the kind of
white people problems.
But seriously, that is. Well, now, why do you got to bring race into it? That's modern problems. But I mean, is my phone don't get me started on this. I'm in a place right now that does not have Wi-Fi, so I'm going completely off my data plan. Over the weekend, I didn't have it set up to only download updates by Wi-Fi. So over the weekend, I'm like sleeping one night, and I get like updates for 15 apps, and my data plan's used up. Like I wake up and my data plan's gone. I was like, what the fuck? It's like somebody snuck in the middle of the night and stole my data. Yeah. It's bullshit. I'm really upset about things. My life's not working out lately. It's really not.
It's been
working.
a bad week.
Well, it's in some ways. I mean, there were some positives out of last week. It's always a roller coaster with me, as you know. I mean, it's never like that whatever that dusty highway is that travels from Fargo to Grand Forks. It is like the straightest, flattest piece of road ever. That is not my life. My life is Six Flags. I mean, it's here we go.
You're primary orange. You want it that way.
Well, here we go. All right, so this is what I wrote on the issue a couple weeks ago. Knowing that I hate mob mentality and I'm not a fan of political correctness, which makes it hard for me to take these stances. But I used to say, you know what, we're not degrading nicknames. You don't name yourself after a team because you're ashamed of it. You do it because it's something proud and strong. And I took that argument and thought, well, why would we want to change it then? But then one day on the PA and Dubay show, we received a call from a Native American who explained eloquently, succinctly, and convincingly how wrong any of these nicknames truly are. To paraphrase the gentleman that spoke to us that day, he found it very insulting that a race of people that brought death and disease to his people while ending a way of life would see fit to reduce all the suffering and dehumanize the dead by using them as a mascot for our amusement while we play our games. That's all I needed to hear. In closing, we can attempt to intellectualize many different reasons for these nicknames. Of course, these intellectualizations all come down to just a resistance to change. But anyway, now back on point. We can attempt to, I really do intellectualize many different reasons for these nicknames to continue being used. I personally reached a point where I asked myself one question. Who am I to say what should or shouldn't offend and oppress people? When I realized there's no answer to that question, I stopped supporting Native American nicknames in sports. Now, when people say, we're bringing honor to the Redskins name, who are I forget which one of the Redskins quarterbacks said they're bringing honor to it, but who the fuck are you to say you're bringing honor to it? Ask the people that are degraded by it if you're bringing honor to it. I mean, who are you to say? Don't you hate it? I mean, now, I will say this. You can't bow down to everybody who's offended by everything. I mean, I will say this. Sometimes people do get offended by nonsense, and it's like you got to grow up and be a little more thick-skinned. Yeah. But you pointed out last week, ironically, as we said up front of Bryant Lake Bowl, you had this moment of clarity where you said that the line of demarcation is once a large group of people are offended, as opposed to some idiot on a bar stool, that's when it's time to act.
Right.
Well, but doesn't it also have to do with the whole background of everything? I mean, it's so easy to make an extreme example here, but white people, for lack of a better term,
rule. I didn't mean that. I'm just kidding.
Wiped out a race of people in this country, and then named teams in their little games after them.
Yeah.
To me, that's
degrading.
That's like in Germany if they had a team called the Jew Faces. I mean, it's the same thing. You damn near you try to wipe out a race, and then you're going to make them, even if it is to honor them. Right. Yeah. To me, it's still
but
Jew
Faces is a little
get
cold.
To use it. Well, but red skin. I'm sorry. How is that not almost the same thing?
Well, yeah. Well, it is. I mean, it is. But even if it wasn't Redskins, this is where I think that nicknames like Braves and Chiefs are to a point where you're still reducing a murdered people to a mascot, and that's going
an entire culture to a fighting thing. Yeah.
That should be that. I mean, I can see how they'd be offended by that. I mean, even if it isn't something specifically directed towards a skin tone.
Okay, just for fun of it, what do you think because this is always the comeback to me when I make this point is, well, then what about the Fighting Irish?
I know
and that's what I don't. Because
you know what, Sean Bernard,
white people weren't the ones that were wiped out here, so I don't think that we care. Like that's the difference, isn't it?
Well, I mean, Sean Bernard, a cohort of ours, a colleague of ours, and an Irishman said they're not the fighting drunken Irish or the drunken fighting Irish. It's fighting Irish is not an insult. What's an insult about being? When they say fighting, they don't mean Sean Penn Fight Club, like your Halloween costume fighting.
Tyler Durden.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you think very highly of yourself, by the way. He took a picture. He was.
That's
who you were for Halloween.
I went as Tyler Durden. How does that make me?
Because you think you're Brad Pitt. I mean, come on.
Okay. First of all,
I love how upset he's getting right now. I love this
bullshit. I have a blog post that I have on my website, not this one, but a different one, has 14,000 reads.
Wow.
Because this is the second.
Jesus, you should have published.
Second year I wrote the second year I wore the costume. I wrote the blog post October 25th, 2013, because it was the first year I bought the costume. I bought the leather jacket. I bought everything.
Red leather jacket.
Tyler Durden.
It's very hipster. It fits right in uptown. You wouldn't even know it's Halloween. Oh, I'm sorry. Continue.
You done?
Yeah.
So
not yet.
The blog post was about how I put the costume on 5 days before Halloween when I got it all ready. I looked in the mirror and I realized I'm not Tyler Durden. I'm not Brad Pitt. And I'm completely okay with that.
See, I feel bad.
And I made an analogy. Yeah.
Congratulations. Way to humble yourself.
Now you're a dick.
No, please. He considers the realization of him not being Brad Pitt as humbling himself.
No, I'm not done. I realize I'm better looking than Brad. I'm kidding. No. And I made an analogy because I'm a business consultant for gyms.
Correct.
And I made an analogy that you don't have to.
Boy, did you see him as when he was in Troy? Boy, was he put together.
Man Crush? No, I never saw it. But
Brad Pitt and Troy, he was put together. He's roided out, man. But
anyway,
continue.
Well, I think I'm just saying you don't have to be like the gym down the street. You don't have to envy. Be yourself. Be the best self. It was that kind of feel good kind of blog post.
Sadly, I am the best.
So go to hell on the high of myself. But I did go as Tyler Durden.
Yeah, you did. How'd you take that picture? Was that like a timer? You know the picture where you're posing.
Well, you don't think I have any friends?
Oh well, not to take that kind of. That was a really, really uncomfortable looking picture. Like it was like someone's having you Vogue.
I was posing as
like someone's having you Vogue, but make love to the camera. You know, that kind of a thing. I would have been really uncomfortable. I'm glad I wasn't in the room. Let's just put it that way.
My marketing communications coordinator took the picture.
All right.
So again,
All right. I'm just saying. I'm glad I wasn't in the room. It just would have been that.
Yeah, so am I.
Oh, do it, baby. Give me some more. Give me some more of that. Oh yeah, that. I just couldn't. It's like a scene of Zoolander. I mean, it's like you're.
It took 2 seconds. It wasn't like that.
Okay. All right. But you guys have seen Zoolander, right?
Yeah,
right.
It's much better than Troy.
Yeah, but Brad Pitt.
That's a fact.
No, Troy, actually, Troy was all right. It was all right. But a couple other things to get to, Viking related. It's not a good team. I mean, it's not a great team. It's a very ordinary team. Oh yeah, we need Sean. Sean the bartender, not Sean Bernard. Oh, Sean the waiter. But
you need some more Diet Coke.
In a year where things are, I mean, you got a new coaching staff, you've got a rookie quarterback starting, you've got, your star running back gone. I mean, a lot of upheaval and a lot of, things shift around. I mean, you are, one play away from being 5-4 right now, and like pretty much in the middle of a shitty division.
Are people out there complaining? Because I mean, it's the first game I missed in 30 years. Yesterday. But Teddy Bridgewater didn't play bad, did he? What are people critical?
Come on the radio and tell people you didn't watch the game. No, I'm just kidding.
No, he didn't play poorly.
No,
he just didn't play great.
26 out of 42.
He's played
26 out of 42 with the touchdown, no picks, and under duress on a play-by-play basis, and without an established back to turn around and hand it to, and your all-pro tight ends.
And you're down 10-0 early.
How can people be critical of that? And before we completely jump on the deep ball problems, we do have to examine the fact that Cordero Patterson apparently can't run routes, but also the fact that Bridgewater is playing in one of the craziest wind stadiums that there are.
Yeah, that's true.
And it is,
and
it was howling yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
I mean, if you're walking down
into their face on that last drive, I believe.
I mean, yeah. Well, you don't ever want to be going into the open end. You don't ever want to kick into the open end. I mean, college kickers get just anally raped by the open end. I shouldn't say that. That's a horrible thing to say. College kickers get destroyed by that open end. I mean, I'm telling you.
We're on a roll today.
College kickers wilt kicking into that open end. I mean, I'd like to see. That sounds awful. But the open end of the stadium wreaks havoc. I mean, NFL kickers like Blair Walsh can deal.
Why?
All right, Blair Walsh can deal. But I've seen college kickers
because the wind swirls.
Hit some crazy kicks into that open end. Yeah. I mean, I've seen flags at opposite ends of the stadium like blowing just 180, just right at each other. I mean, it's
going to fuck with your mind for sure.
I mean, it's a fairly flat, open piece of land. It's like where the grain elevators and railroad tracks were, so the wind can come whipping through there anyway. Yeah. And then you've got a horseshoe design with an opening to it that can come in and swirl around. So it's a maelstrom, is what it is. And that's the first time I've used maelstrom.
God, spell that.
Maelstrom with 2 dots over the O.
Yeah.
Damn straight. Well, I've been on the ride at Epcot Center. It's not that big a deal. Seriously. But I'm pretty sure I spelled that right.
We're going to give it to you even if it's not.
But I noticed it like the second year of going to Gopher games at TCF Bank Stadium that kickers just I didn't never do any studies on it or I didn't have a control group. Yeah. But I mean, it just as I'm sitting there watching games in a very sober state, I'm just noticing, hey, people can't make kicks at this end. I mean, and again, Blair Walsh and the NFL kickers are a different animal, but I do believe. As a matter of fact, they were talking about this on the broadcast yesterday that Zimmer had wind studies done before the season. He wanted to know all the quirks and where the wind swirls and what it does here and what it does there, so he knows. I mean, one thing that I'd like to see him do a better job of is having that. I want to see the Vikings going to the closed end. Well, I guess he ran studies, so what I know. But I'd like to see going to the closed end of the stadium in the fourth quarter. But I believe the wind is blowing against you that way. Oh, is it? I think it blows toward the open end. But it swirls on that end, so that might even be worse. But it comes in. Doesn't it come in the opening and just? No, I think the opening makes the air all go that way. That's the vortex. It goes out through that. Yeah, I believe so. We need Hammer here. We need Hammer right now. Yes. He would get to the bottom of this. And he'd also tell you that global warming's a scam. Hang on. You guys talk. I got to choke. Jeez. I don't even know. Al Gore just got me. Seriously, that was Al Gore. You okay? No, Al Gore just fucking stuck a pin in my voodoo doll neck. So I said there's no global warming. And you probably deserved it. Al Gore got me. Should we have that debate right now? Let's do it. Oh, my God. No, we're not. Al Gore just stuck a needle in a Jeff Dubay voodoo doll. Oh, my God. Seriously. That would make sense for you not to believe in global warming, but to believe in voodoo. That makes perfect fucking sense. No, I believe in Al Gore. And I gotta keep forgetting to thank him for the internet. Yeah, I know. Thank you, Al Gore, for the internet. Yeah. Without it, I just would have nothing to masturbate to. Yeah, well. Jesus. Oh, Al Gore, you're responsible. I second that emotion. So let me see how much. That's 46 minutes past the hour. You want to talk a little live and social? I got 3 questions. Oh, God, there's a ton. Yeah. Oh, we got Grill the Host. Hang on a second. I do have to do the promo. I'd forgotten. Unless see if I deleted my Gmail app. So oh, boy. No, it's in here. As a matter of fact, hang on. Let me get past. I got so many emails. I got my alias email. Then I got my real email. Here we go. Let's get into the real one. Well, I mean, I used to be a match. I wasn't going to use my name, for God's sake. Boy, did I clean up, by the way. Whew. Match women are easy. I mean, easy. Well, didn't you? I mean, you've been on match, haven't you? I mean, not all of them. I mean, I'm painting with a broad stroke here. We had this conversation. Right. I'm not going to go on record. Match women, let's just say match women are good to go. All right? I mean, it's like spring break of the internet dating services. They should just call it that. They should just call it DaytonaBeach.com. Have you found Tinder yet? If you think match is easy. Well, he does. Oh, he did. No, whatever. Yeah, what are you talking about? You, Tinder. You're a Tinder guy. I've been on 2 Tinder dates. Oh, yeah. Then got laid on both of them. I was going to say, how'd they go? Just kidding. Did not. They're probably both listening. I do want to do yeah, I'm sure they are. A quick promotional for the Alive and Social Network, which we are a part of. Listen live every Wednesday night to the live music showcase. They do it from Shamrock's Pub in St. Paul. And if you can get there because they've got cheese curds with bacon in them, and it's phenomenal. You might have a little orgasm. They feature the Last Ride Band as the host, and they'll feature guest artists every week. Find them on Spreaker on the Alive and Social Network. Follow them on Twitter at The Last Ride Band. And also check out the Rusty Gatenby review on iTunes or on Spreaker, or just go to the RustyGatenbyReview.com. Rusty was on KSTP Channel 5 locally for 30 years, and he's known for having the largest head in North America. Jesus. And I don't mean that like... No, he really does have the largest head. He's got like a size... Who does? Rusty Gatenby. Rusty Gatenby and Brian McKinney have the 2 biggest heads I've ever seen. Rusty Gatenby's never found a hat that fit him. Never found a fitted hat that fit. I'm not sure he could get in Brian McKinney's helmet. Brian McKinney's a freak. Sure it's not a tumor? I hope not. That's a terrible thing to say. Because he's got a really hot fiancé. That'd be the guy. I don't want him to have a tumor. I just want to make sure he's checked it out. And then there's the Pubcast. The Pubcast, yeah. The first episode last week at O'Gara's. Are we gonna put out the big announcement today? Oh, yeah. I mean, it's already out there, so we probably should talk about that too. Yeah. It involves both of us. So. Well, the Wild Wednesday programs are going to be, just because it's wild. I mean, it's the Wild. It's NHL talk. We thought maybe it should be east of the river in St. Paul. So we have a new location for Wednesdays. It's going to be Burger Mo's, which is a place you're very familiar with because you've been thrown out numerous times. Very, very familiar with Burger Mo's. Well, so you're going to be doing your show there 5 to 6, doing the Wild Wednesday, as you will be. And then the Pubcast will be shortly after that. So Molly Burke and myself will be there. Follow us on Twitter and all that stuff. And then O'Gara's on Thursday nights at 5 o'clock. We will be there from 5 to 6 as well. The Alive and Social, just everywhere. Alive and Social Network. Look it up, find it, follow it, like it, all that stuff. All right. So we do a thing on the show from time to time called Grill the Host, where people are given 3 no-holds-barred interview-style questions of yours truly. Because I've lived one hell of a fascinating life. I've been a bat boy, for God's sake. A bat boy in the major leagues. I mean, I was on the radio for a living, and
I was going to say, was the Bat Boy the peak?
And I've been in jail, and I've also been in jail. I mean, by the way, you would not believe how popular American Idol is in the workhouse. I mean, everything comes to a stop. I mean, the buzz all day long. Oh man, tonight's the season premiere of American Idol. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you people? It's American Idol. You know what's really weird is one day.
Besides that,
I laughed out loud at this. One day, this guy's got the remote. And then I stay away from the remote. There are two things I stay away from in jail: remotes and basketball games. Just want nothing to do with either of them. But this guy's got the remote, and he turns on Jail. Have you ever seen the show Jail? It's just like bad. It's just like cops, but it's after the fact. It's just like in jail. And one guy goes,
True TV.
One guy gets up out of his car and goes, "Fool, you in jail!" I took the remote from him. I mean, I started laughing so loud. But anyway, I digress. Fool, you in jail.
Fool, you in jail. What the fuck you doing?
Oh, yeah. I mean, no. I'm not kidding about this. This is one of my best moments ever. During an episode of Cops, these two guys sat by the TV and like were pointing out their cousins. And I'm not kidding. Oh man, that cousin Jerry. I mean, I was just like, oh my god. I was just like, you've got to be kidding me right now. But anyway, let's get to grill the host before I get run out of.
Or you keep grilling yourself.
Oh my god. Yeah. No, but seriously, those are true stories. But anyway,
I'm sure they are.
How about I never was a victim of any kind of jailhouse violence until one day the movie double feature was Stomp the Yard and Drumline, and those are god awful movies. But a guy wanted to kick the shit out of me because he just thought I didn't like black movies. Well, Stomp the Yard and Drumline.
Got to be racist right away.
I'm a racist because I don't like those movies.
You don't like Drumline.
I've never even heard of them.
Like I'm there making requests for Mary Poppins or something. I mean, Drumline and Stomp the Yard. They're marketed to the African American community more than. I mean, they're movies that I did not enjoy, regardless of any kind of racial overtones. They're just not. They're movies about people dancing and drumming. What the fuck am I going to watch those?
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ! It had nothing to do with race, but a guy almost beat me up over it. But anyway, you got questions or not?
I do.
That was the closest I came to getting punched in jail because I didn't like Drumline. Anyway, I didn't insult anybody. I just didn't like Drumline. But go ahead.
How close did it come?
I was sitting in a bunk.
They say, "Fool, let's fight."
I was sitting in the bunk. He came up and stood right over me and did one of these fake little punches. And I flinched, and then that was it.
How big was this gentleman?
Big enough to hurt me.
Yeah.
But anyway, continue.
Question number 1. Outside of jail, how many people have you had sex with?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Outside of jail.
Honestly, I'm not going to answer that question. I don't know. I mean, it's in the 20s, 30s. I don't know. I'm not Wilt Chamberlain. I don't want to be Wilt Chamberlain.
I predicted you'd give a ballpark. All right, fine.
Oh, there you go. But see, because I'm an orange, you know me.
The next two questions are pretty
you would go right to the gutter.
That was straight to the gutter. You could have saved that one for at least a second.
I said tasteful. I think that was not tasteful.
No.
I could have skirted that one based on the tasteful clause. Okay, continue.
I wouldn't answer it either, but I would.
Well, because you couldn't.
Yeah.
Well, do you count hookers?
Next question.
No, I'm just kidding.
Next question. Of course you do.
Who doesn't?
Some would say you pay. Who would you have dinner with, and why? Or I'm sorry. The cliche question. You got one. You can have dinner with one person, alive or dead. They can be dead or alive. But here's the deal. I don't want it to be a sports person.
Okay. Can I do a dead one and an alive? Well, I don't know if I have a dead one.
No, you can. It's dead or alive. You can pick. Well, you can. If you want to do a sports person, you can. But then you got to give a non-sports person too.
Well, can I do an alive person at a different stage in his life? Like, it would be cool to have dinner with Muhammad Ali when he was still,
Yeah, you can go back to the throne.
But the current Muhammad Ali would be drooling on you and speeding things up, and it would be awful.
Yeah, you can pick any time frame.
Well, I mean, yeah. So I mean, maybe at one point Muhammad Ali.
Well, you wouldn't be able to communicate with him.
Well, and I tell you what. Well, based on the last question, Wilt fucking Chamberlain. I mean, and I better be a long meal because I want to hear some stories. You know who This is gonna be kind of lame, but I've always wanted to meet Jimmy Page. I'm a huge Zeppelin guy, but he's a real mumbler. So I think I would need, even though
the drugs did a thing to him.
Well, he'd be speaking English. I mean, I think I might need an interpreter. He's like a real mumbler. Well, I mean, he in '75 is when he got into heroin, and from '75 to into the '80s. But he's kicked it and he survived it. But he's a mumbler. There's no doubt about that. I know that was really lame.
Jimmy Page and Muhammad Ali.
Those are pretty lame.
They're
Those are really lame, aren't they? Those are super lame.
Well, I wouldn't say super lame.
Wait, for something way deeper, like Christ or Socrates.
Christ was probably a real person. So
no, he was. His existence is backed by archaeological.
No.
Again, he is. Nobody can prove that he's the son of God. but his life is backed up by archaeological evidence.
I
watched the History Channel.
No.
I'm not a religious fanatic.
There was an eccentric preacher roaming the desert years ago.
Well, there you go.
But
well, there you go.
He probably wasn't named Jesus Christ, and he certainly didn't look like.
Well, of course he wasn't named Jesus Christ.
Of course
Christ is a thing.
And of course he didn't,
but he
didn't look like he was from New Hope. He's been Anglo-Saxon.
Well, yeah, exactly. But let me give you more clear. He never turned water into wine. He never.
I don't believe
parted the sea.
Look, I know you're an atheist. And trust me, I don't want to get myself in trouble here. But I think the Old Testament. When I was in 8th grade and we studied Greek mythology, I'm thinking to myself, God, who are these people that think the sun is being dragged across the sky by a chariot? I mean, who are these idiots who think God's live on a mountain? But when I read the Old Testament, I think, who are these idiots who think somebody parted a sea? Who in the world thinks God carved the 10 Commandments out of a mountain when the guy's up there with a chisel for 30 or 40 days and he comes down with 2 tablets because he's got an unruly mob and he's got to control them? Moses wrote the 10 Commandments. People, wake up! Wake up, people! Smell the coffee. Moses wrote the 10 Commandments. It blows my mind that people don't know.
It was the burning bush.
Now you're a fellow atheist.
From the burning
well, no, I'm not an atheist. But I think the 10 Commandments. I think the Old Testament is almost as silly as much of Greek mythology. But now I'm going to get
cherry pick what you want from your book.
You're killing me.
All right.
Well, it's not one book. It's many, many books. It's a collection of many books, so I can pick and choose what I want. But I'm not a theologist.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not a theologist. I don't know what specifically what I do or don't believe, but I'm open. I'm open to things other than the mere to think that we all descended from Adam and Eve, or that the world was flooded and everything that got onto a fucking boat is
complete nonsense.
Repopulated the earth. It's ridiculous.
I just saw on Facebook they found Noah's Ark. What do you mean?
How could anybody believe that? How could anybody be that naive?
Well, then why do you believe anything else that's written?
No, just
yeah. Right.
Well, just don't get me started. I'm not an Old Testament guy, but I mean, I've seen enough stuff on History Channel that there's archaeological evidence to back up the existence of Christ. You cannot prove he's the Son of God, but there's a guy out there calling himself the Son of God.
Eccentric preacher roaming the desert.
Well, there you go.
Thought he was special.
Again,
big fucking deal.
Now we're arguing semantics. But anyway.
Yeah. All right. Question number 3, which I couldn't think of a third question because I'm a little out of it today, under the weather. That's why I missed the Vikings game. Not that you care, but
not at all.
Yeah. But so I was with my marketing communications coordinator, Brooke Brosey.
Whatever. You were with a hooker named Champagne.
And no, that was last week. And I said, "Hey, Brooke, I need a question." And I'm prefacing this because
does she know who I am?
Well, she hasn't met you.
But if you threw the name Jeff Dubay, she'd be impressed.
I didn't say he's kind of a big
deal.
Don't
act like you're not impressed.
Although you could say you're kind of a big deal and you have leather-bound books.
Well, you know what? I downloaded a Ron Burgundy soundboard. I was going to bring it to the show because we had drops we could use, but I had to delete it because my phone.
This is a Ron Burgundy setting.
Don't act like you're not impressed.
Come down to the Devil's Advocate.
Isn't that great? I'm sorry.
I'm just
It does not smell of mahogany. It does not smell of mahogany.
There is no mahogany.
Well, we could get some rich mahogany type of.
When he's got the boner and he walks away, and goes, "Don't act like you're not impressed." Yeah. That's just as good as it gets. But anyway, I've said that line 4 times. Let's move on.
Do you want the third question?
Damn right I do. We got 3 minutes.
How many women? No. What kind of if you were going to be a drink? What kind of drink would you be?
That is...
I know...
this is not the Wonderlic test.
This is as good as I've got.
A drink?
Yeah, come up with a drink. Not Diet Coke.
A chocolate malt.
Why?
I don't know. These are horrible, horrible questions. Are you high? No, I'm just kidding. Those are horrible questions.
Okay, first of all, the women one is good.
I'm just kidding.
You're just too fucking lame.
Well, no, but
the second one was lame
answers.
Oh,
well, the last one's from a girl, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's a chick question. Okay, well, in that case, sex on the beach. Or a buttery nipple.
There you go. That's a better answer.
Does anybody ever order buttery nipples anymore? Like 20 years ago, people were ordering buttery nipples.
Only 70-year-old women.
Well, no, like 20-year-olds.
What's in a buttery nipple?
Butterscotch schnapps and orange juice, I think.
I've never had
that
one.
Sounds good.
I've never even seen a nipple. I buttery nipple. I have no idea. I
was a bartender for years.
I tell you what, though, on my bachelor party.
Nobody ever ordered.
On my bachelor party, when you're the bachelor, people are buying you shots. And I mean, I'm not a big drinker, but it's your bachelor party. You're not, whatever. And, Doogie, Darren Wolfson, I could have killed him. He's a buddy of mine. But, I don't think you try to ruin somebody's night if it's their bachelor party. And he handed me a pink shot. I think, well, I can do a pink shot. I'm secure enough in my manhood. It's going to be fruity. It's going to be easy. So I throw it down, and it was a prairie fire. I never even heard of it. It's tequila and Tabasco. I puked instantly. You can't give that to somebody and expect
disgusting, but it's not pink.
Well, it's pinkish. It was a reddish, pinkish, melony color.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody handed it,
color of the lighting in the bar.
If somebody handed it to you, it would look innocent.
Yeah,
it would look innocent. But you can't give somebody a shot of tequila with Tabasco and not expect them to vomit. Oh. I mean, who's not here trying to... Doogie, I love you like a brother, but it's not my brother. But don't ever... I mean, that's the worst drink anybody's ever bought for me. I mean, usually buying a drink for somebody's a nice gesture. It's a sign of camaraderie or something. Not a fucking prairie fire.
That's a 21st birthday thing.
And
that was done to me on my
21st
birthday.
Same with me.
Don't ever do that to anybody.
Every shot.
And I did
stoplights and
Don't
three wise men.
Don't ever do that to anybody. Anybody ever buys anybody a prayer fire, you're a horrible human
asshole.
being.
You are an asshole.
You're a horrible human. You're a horrible human being. And if you do, then get one for yourself too. Seriously.
Yes, yeah.
Seriously.
If you don't cheers that, you don't get to buy it for somebody.
Yeah, it's horrible. I want to get a quick preview of the rest of the week. Tomorrow's Terry Daniel, who's a longtime Twin Cities radio fixture, voiceover guy, funny guy, really good guy, and it's going to be a fun, wild show here tomorrow. Wednesday's Wild Wednesday, and the debut at Burger Moe's, which is going to be a good time. And then I'm off for a 4-day weekend, so suck it, everybody.
And I'll be Thursday at O'Gara's after Wild Wednesday.
And check out Rusty's Big Head on RustyGateBReview.com.
Alive and Social.